Okay guys, welcome back to another one of my videos. This is the one continuing on from the little gold trimmed ram fingers that I've put into the acid. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a look at it. It's 24 hours since I put them into the acid. We're going to have a look and see how we're progressing so far, see if there are any little flakes of gold floating in the acid yet. So let's get ourselves together, guys. Let's get our gas masks on before we head out. So everyone get their gas masks on. Safety first. Okay guys, let's head out to the shed. Okay guys, so we're out in the shed now having a look at these to see what the first 24 hours has done. So as you can see, there's a lot of fumes off it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift the first one up. So this is the one that the bubbler was on. So I have another bucket here. I can just sit this one into just for a minute, and we'll have a look here once the fumes clear a bit. And we'll see if there's any gold floating around in there. So there's a few small bits of gold floating around. It might be hard to see it, but I can see a few gold flakes floating around in there. And let's have a look here. Just make sure no acid goes anywhere. So you can see even on these, there's a little bit gone off them. So it's starting to remove it already within 24 hours. So that's the one with the bubbler. I just want to add any acid on anything, so that's why I'm keeping the other bucket under it. But if you look in there, I can actually see some gold flakes floating around in the bottom of this as well. So that's going pretty good. So then we come over to this one. So we'll lift that out as well. I'm just trying to get you a better view. So it's a bit awkward to see. So again, once I've taken out as much of the acid as I can, I'll just leave it sitting over that bucket for a second, and we'll just have a look inside and see if there's any gold floating around. So again, I'm going to have a look in this. And I don't see any gold in there yet, so it doesn't seem to be reacting as quick without the bubbler. Again, the air temperature in here would be a lot colder, so that could have a lot to do with it. So again, just trying to have a look in the bottom of this. I don't see any flakes yet, so again, we'll just put that back in. That's kind of it, guys. The air bubbler seems to be releasing a few more flakes, and the other one is not. So we'll put it back and we'll check it again in another 24 hours time and see how we're getting on. Okay guys, so it's been 45 or 48 hours since I started the process. So this time we're going to have a look at the one with the bubbler in it. So as you can see, when I switch on the bubbler, be bubbles away in there, so I'll just fish that off so we can get a right look at it. So sorry about the camera being a bit shaky or whatever, we'll try and zoom in there a small bit for you. So as you can see, this is starting to remove the gold foils from the actual thing. So the foils are starting to remove off there. You can see them float around in here. So the bubbler is working fairly good at the moment. So you can see still a lot to be done, but it's removing the foils. Just making sure there's no foils on my hands. But you can see them here floating around in here. There's a lot of foils floating around. So that one's working fairly good. Can I remove two of these with my finger here or not? Just see, has it got to this stage yet on some of them? No, it's not ready yet, but it's getting there. So I'll just try and find one. You can see here where some of the foils have come off. You can see the missing foils where there was foils on it, and now they're starting to come off. So it is working. I'll just lift the bucket up for a minute. I'll drain some of it out. I'm sure there'll be some foils down here as well. Yeah, you can see a few foils floating around in there. So that's working away good. So we'll put that back working again. We'll just let the acid cover the thing. So you can see the foils actually floating there now when I've done that. So you can see them floating across the top. So the foils are working, so again we'll show you. We drain it down. And when I push down through the acid, you'll see the foils float to the top, which looks nice. So the foils are coming off. So we can leave that one working away now for another 24 hours and see how we progress for the next 24 hours. So that's the first one. What I'll do is I'll just get the second one ready to show you the ones without any bubbler, just to see how they're progressing. So we'll just stop the camera there for a second, and when I come back we'll be ready to show you the other ones. Okay guys, so this is the second bucket. So as you can see in there, I don't see any foils at all floating around. I see a bit of white from the plastic that's where I was drawing it out, but there's nothing floating around in there. These seem to be fairly intact, so it's a lot slower process without the bubbler. The bubbler does seem to speed it up, but what we'll do is we'll put it in and see will anything float to the top, the same as the other way. Nice and steady. I don't see anything floating to the top. No, so that seems to be a lot slower process. It doesn't be as quick. So we're going to leave that again, let it work away for another 24 hours and see what it's like tomorrow. So just pour back in some of that liquid. At the end of this process, I'll also do a stannous test on it to make sure that none of the gold does get dissolved in solution. Because if it does, I'll just have to drop it out. So it's just to be very important to check it to make sure that none of your gold gets dissolved into solution. So that's it for this section. We'll see tomorrow what the next 24 hours bring. So see you in a while, guys. Okay guys, so it's 72 hours since we started this process. So I just said I'd show you this bucket first. Again, this is the one where I'm using the pump. So as you can see, we have a lot of, hopefully you'll be able to see the floating around, the gold flakes floating around from it. So we have a lot of gold flakes floating around, and then in the other bucket is the actual foil. So still a lot to be taken off, but we are getting them off. So what I'm going to do is just swap this over, and again when we push down into it, let me zoom out, you'll see the gold floating up to the top. So it's nice, you can see all the gold floating on top. So that's looking pretty good, it's working away there. You can even see in the bucket there's some foils from where I left the other bucket sitting into it, and they drip down into it. So that's working away okay. So I'll put that pump on back working. That's 72 hours gone. We'll check out the other one and see how we're getting on with the other one. So we'll just put that back, and I'll come back when we get to the one without the pump. Okay guys, so this is the other tub, and as you can see, it doesn't seem to have anything happening yet at all. So the bubbler does make a very big difference. I don't see anything gold foils floating around at all. What we'll do, just to make sure, is we'll lift it up and have a right look inside it. So we just have the liquid drain. So we'll just leave it sitting in the bucket for a minute. And I'm just having a look inside of here, and there's no gold foils whatsoever floating around. So it looks like the only way to go is to have a bubbler in it. But we leave that to work away, again, just to compare. So we come back in another 24 hours. You can see there's no gold floating to the top like there was in the other one. There's no gold foils. So we leave that aside. So we come back in another 24 hours and see how we get on, guys. So let's see what happens in 24 hours. Okay guys, so it is now up to 96 hours since I put in the fingers into the acid. And this is the one with the bubbler. I'm not going to bother with the other one because the other one is very slow. It's not making any progress, so it's fairly obvious that the one with the bubbler is the better one. So as we can see, I'll just drain it out a bit, and if we let it go down again, we'll see the foils coming to the top. So we can see all the foils floating around the top there. So the bubbler is the way to go on this. So we'll just agitate it a bit. So again, you can see it there. They're starting to loosen up all the foils off it. So it's progressing along nicely. So we'll check back in again in another . So again, you can see it here. You see all the foils coming to the top. So it's progressing fairly good. So we'll check back in again in another 24 hours and see how it's getting on. Okay, so it's been 120 hours since I've put the ram sticks, the trimmed ram sticks, into the acid. The bubbler one is working perfect, as you'll see now in the video in a few seconds when I go out to the shed. It has cleared a lot of the ones off it. So what my plan now is, what I'm going to do now, this is coming near the end of the video for this video, is I'm going to take the ones that are done, well 90% of it is done in the bubbler. I'm going to take the ones from the other container, which is not progressing at all, to be honest. 120 hours gone by and it still hasn't started to really remove the foils. I started to remove one or two or whatever, but I'm just going to take them out and I'm going to put them into the bubbler instead, so that I can speed it up and get the 2 batches done. Normally I wouldn't do a kg at a time. I do maybe a pound of them at a time, so something more like that size of foils. I also think that maybe some gold flakes have dissolved into the solution, so I'll do a test on that in the next video. We can test, and I might show you how I make the test, the stannous chloride. I'll do a video maybe on making stannous chloride before I do the filtration video, maybe of filtering out the foils out of it. Or once I filtered out the foils, I'll do a test on the remaining liquid to see if there's any gold in it, and then I'll go about recovering if it shows up that there is gold, because I think it may have dissolved some of the gold in it. The foils may have dissolved some, so my plan then will be to precipitate out them gold out of it. So anyone that has any ideas on what's the best method that you use, if that happens, anyone that if the gold has been dissolved in your HCl and hydrogen peroxide. I only use 3% hydrogen peroxide, but it seems, I think it has, by looking at the solution, that it may have dissolved some gold in it, but I won't know until I test it. If it has, what do you do to precipitate out the gold out of it? What method would you advise? I have a few ideas what I'm going to try, but what do you find is the best? Because I don't want to do too many different ways of doing it. I just want the most efficient way of doing it. So anyone that has done it or has come across this problem before, if you could please leave it in the comments, let me know. I really appreciate it, because I'm on 2 ways of doing it, so I don't know which will be the most efficient yet. So I'll just see what people come up with and I'll take it from there. So we're going to go to the shed now. The reason I said I'd do this is because I'll have the mask on. It's very hard to understand what I'm doing maybe, or see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking out 1 bucket, emptying the foils that are mostly done, and taking the foils from the other bucket and putting them into the bubbler. So that's the plan, and then that'll be the end of this video, more or less. I might come back at the end and just finish up at the end of the video and finish up what I'm doing. And then the next video in the series will be me filtering. One of the reasons I don't want to carry on the filtering is I'm actually waiting for filter papers to come. I'm totally out of them, so I'm waiting for more filter papers to come, and they haven't arrived by the time, they won't be arrived by the time this video is finished. So that's why you won't see the filtering on this video. I'll do a separate video on the filtering of the foils from the liquid, and then we'll go on from there. So we'll head into the shed and we'll take it from there. Okay guys, so I'm out in the shed again, and my first thing is I'll just stick on the gloves. So as you can see, I have 2 sets of gloves, just my order, and then I put on the heavy duty gloves on over them. So again, I just put on the 2 sets of gloves, and I have the mask on as well for any fumes. So you'll see the fumes coming out when I open this up. So this is the one that hasn't really done anything. Okay, so this hasn't really done anything at all, as you'll see when I open it. So you can see some of the fumes coming out from the top of it, and if you look down into it, there's 1 or 2 foils floating around, but nothing major. So we'll just drain out the liquid.
So as you can see, the foils are still fairly intact. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour them into this other bucket here. So there's one or two still left in there. We won't worry too much about them. Okay, so the foils are in here, and as you see, they're pretty much intact. So I'm going to get the other ones now from the bubbler, and I'm going to add them into this solution, the ones that aren't finished. So I'll just show you that in a minute. I just want to maybe pause the video and then I'll come back and I'll show you that. Okay guys, so this is the bucket. I just threw it on top of the other bucket for the moment so any drift can go down. But as you can see, if I can set my camera up correctly, and I get it set up here, can I get a close look at the actual state of these ones? You can see that a lot of this have the foils removed from them. So they are missing a lot of the foils. You can see they're completely gone. There's no foils on them. And there might be one or two maybe foils on them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer them from this bucket into the solution here. So any that haven't already got the foils removed, we'll slowly do it. There's only a few. And if you look closely at the bottom of the bucket, I'll just take this glove off for a second while I handle the camera. You can see, if I get it to focus, there's a lot of foils down in the bottom of the bucket. So we have a lot of foils built up at the bottom of the bucket. So again, when I transfer over, I'll just bring it out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to transfer over the actual foil, or the sticks that are still left. And I'm going to put them into that other one and put this back into the bubbling solution and tip back in the other foils, or the other fingers. So I'll just get a better position. So all I'm doing is dropping this into the solution. So we're just shaking them off. So we're just dropping them into the solution. You can actually see some of the foils on my gloves as well from it, so I'll wash them off in the solution afterwards. So the actual bubbler will work a lot better than this non-bubbler solution. So I'll just give you a closer look in the bucket. I'll keep it over the solution. You can see the foils down the bottom there. They will be filtered out at a later stage in the next videos. So put that back in there. I'll get the solution now that has the bubbler. So that is the bucket that contains which the bubbler will be in a few minutes. I'm just going to put this back in there for a second. So you can see the foils floating around again that were in that. And we're just going to add those into there. So again, you can see there is some foils in the bottom of this and a few more little stragglers. So just add them into the solution. So that just washes off any foils I had on the gloves. They're all washed off into the solution. And that's ready to go back on the bubbler. So that's kind of it. So I'll put them foils into the bubbler. They'll remove the foils quicker on the bubbler. So again you can see I'll drain the acid. I'll just drop the bucket in. You'll see the foils float around inside again. So you can see them floating around in there. So that's it guys, we'll go back inside. I'll just set that back on the bubbler. I'll go back inside and we'll finish up. So that'll be the end of the video in a few minutes, and we'll have a little chat and that's it.
So that's it really guys for the video. What will happen now is I'll just let that carry on, and you've already seen how the foils come off at using that solution. In the next videos then, once I get my filter papers and stuff, we'll filter that out, we'll see what we get, we'll test it to see the solution, is there gold dissolved into the solution, and then we'll have a look at how we get that out of it, what's the best method. So again, that's where hopefully a few of the subscribers will come in and give me a hand on some of it, because as I say, I've never had it go into solution like that before. The foils, anytime I've tested solution, but I'm almost certain looking at it that it's gone into solution, because the foils, I was expecting a lot more foils floating around. Again, now a lot of these are already small foils, so maybe it might be to do with that, because I usually have bigger foils like that I usually do it in. So I'd have the bigger fingers like that, so the foils would be a little bit bigger. Maybe that's the reason it's gone into solution this time. Maybe I put a bit too much hydrogen peroxide in. So again, once we filter it, I'll get a better idea, and once I do the test. So anyone that has come across this issue, please leave in the comments your best solution for getting the gold out. So especially any of the guys that are in the precious metal groups on the Facebook that have a look at this video. So maybe Janie or Jeff, or any of them guys, Gio or Jeff, as I say, Gio. Any of you guys that have come across this, what would you advise as the best way of dropping the gold if it has got into solution out of it, in case it's something that there might be a simpler way, quicker way. So, but hopefully it hasn't gone into solution, but if it has, we'll have a look. So thanks guys for subscribing to the channel, thanks for checking out my videos, really appreciate it, and till the next one guys, keep on looking for that gold.